Hey, what's going on? Aaron here. Hope you are doing well. If you're watching this video right now, you might be checking out this company here called Poshmark, and you might have heard that they are a great place to sell your secondhand clothing that you don't really need. Maybe you want to clear out your cupboard and you can make some side income that way, okay? Now in this review, we're going to talk all about Poshmark to find out about how much they actually cost for you to sell your clothes online. Is it a difficult process? Will you actually get sales, right? And the big question is how much money will you really make? That's the big question, okay? Because sometimes these things are just a waste of time, right? If you can't sell your clothes on a website that says that you can sell your clothes, then it becomes a real problem, doesn't it, right? Now, at any time, if you want to get my favorite way to get to 5 to 10,000 US dollars every single month, minimum 100% from home, all you need to do is just click the link below and I'll send you that training straight to your email if you would like to check that out, okay? Now, I review all sorts of different make money online websites, side hustles, business models, survey websites, GPT, you name it. I've reviewed lots of different styles of making money online because we live in the new economy, which is really cool, right? But some things are really awesome, some things are so-so, and some things are just a pure waste of time. So let's take a look at whether selling clothes, secondhand clothes especially, on a website like Poshmark is going to be a good use of your time, or maybe it's just a waste of time, right? Now, Poshmark is actually a very, very big secondhand website where you can sell your clothes to people all over the world, right? So a lot of people will list different things like whatever it is, Zara, vintage, Louis Vuitton, and you can see here, it's a very nice looking website, okay? And they're very, very popular. And Poshmark actually does a very good job of advertising their stuff, advertising their platform. So there are a lot of people that come here to try and shop for secondhand products, okay? Now, this is how it actually works, right? So let's just say you have products that you want to sell. You would basically come here and create a free account, Facebook, Google, Apple, whatever it is, or sign up with an email. And you would have to take nice pictures and videos of your products, right? And you would create the listings on Poshmark. You would decide how much you want to sell them for, right? And you would write a nice description for every single listing that you put up. The good thing about Poshmark is they don't charge you for listings. So that means that if you're an absolute beginner, you've never sold your secondhand clothes before on any website, then you can do that for free, because there are some websites that charge you for every single listing, which makes it a little bit more difficult, because if you're spending money to sell your clothes and you don't sell it, then you're at a loss, right? The good thing about Poshmark is that you can do it for free. So all that is required is you have to take the time to do it, okay? Now let me give you a few tips on how you can increase the sales of your clothes on a website like Poshmark. First of all, you cannot make less than 30 listings, okay? So if you're only selling like 5 things, you're not gonna sell, because people aren't going to find your listings. There's so many sellers that are trying to sell their stuff on Poshmark that everything gets buried, right? Does that make sense? So if you only have like 2 or 3 things to sell, don't even waste your time, right? You need to have a lot of listings, 30 plus or more, okay? 30 or more listings that you want to sell, otherwise don't waste your time. Second thing that you must keep in mind is the stuff that you sell, even though it is a secondhand market, it has to be either brand new or close to looking like new. Okay, so that doesn't mean that you can't wear it. You can, it could be worn, but it must look new. That means it must have a look new feel. Otherwise, people aren't going to buy your stuff. Okay, so if it looks really like a thrift shop or like secondhand clothing shop where it looks like crap, you can see stains and it doesn't look new at all, right? People aren't gonna buy those kind of products on a website like Poshmark. Okay, I mean the name says it all. Okay, so it must be like new, right? The third thing that you have to understand about Poshmark is that unlike Amazon, because Amazon is such a big company, the buyers of clothes from Poshmark have to pay for shipping. Shipping and handling will cost roughly about $7 to $8, okay? So that's gonna go on top of the price that you sell your clothes at. So if you've got a blouse or a dress or whatever it is, right, or a piece of jewelry for $10, right, whether it's like $5 bracelet or, a $10 dress or blouse or whatever, and somebody has to pay $7 shipping on top of that, their total is gonna come to $17, and it's going to not want them to make the purchase, okay? So that's a big problem with Poshmark. So basically it's very, very difficult to sell low price items, because people aren't willing to pay for the shipping and handling, right? Whereas if you sell like a handbag that's going to cost like $100, for example, then $100 plus $7 shipping, people are willing to pay for that, right? Because that's $107, and compared to the price of the product, $7 is not a big deal. But if it's a low cost item, people aren't going to be willing to buy it. So you have to keep that in mind as a seller, okay? So those are the big things. Another thing that you have to understand about Poshmark is that they take a lot of fees. So their fees are very high. It's the highest in the industry, right? So if you sell products on Poshmark, they take 20% of the cost of the item. That's very high. That eats into your profits. If you sell on a website like Mercari, it's only 10%, and on eBay, it's about 13% plus the PayPal fees. All right. So if you want to sell on Poshmark, it is very, very expensive. It's 20% fee. All right. So these are some of the hurdles that you're going to have to go through if you decide to sell on Poshmark. It's not that you can't sell, you can, but there are a lot of little hurdles that you have to jump through and hoops you have to jump through before you can sell effectively. And then the big question is it worth your time, right? So how many items do you have to sell? Do they look like new, or are they pretty worn down and pretty old? How much do they cost, right? Can you price them at an expensive price point, a mid to expensive price point? If it's at the lower levels, don't even waste your time, because people aren't gonna buy on those listings, especially on this particular website, okay? And then there are a lot of things to consider. You know, you've got to, you know, they do a great, you know, they do really well with the shipping tags and stuff like that. They'll provide you with the shipping tags, you just kind of stick them on and you can send them. It's very easy, but but they take a big fee, for example, and you're not going to sell a lot of items that you necessarily put on the listings on Poshmark, and then it becomes really difficult. Now there are a couple of other problems as well that I want to highlight, and I'm just going to show you on some feedback websites. So this website did a really good review on Poshmark, and this is one of the reviews or comments that a seller actually mentioned when they tried to sell on Poshmark. And if you're watching this video, you're probably trying to sell clothes to make money, okay? So this is what they said. They said, "At first, I was very enthused with Poshmark. I still like the company and it's very easy, but they were rather disappointed because despite my items being fine quality and some of them were new or never used, and I listed them at 85% off the retail price, they don't sell well, okay? I get the impression that Poshmark, as thousands of young women are just having fun on the site, they're sharing their liking, but they don't have any money to spend. Okay, I was interested in selling in Poshmark because I have some really nice Italian-made bags from major designers like Bruno Magli and Mark Cross, and they still do not sell. Think about that. That's crazy. So branded stuff still not selling, right? I did sell a costume bracelet for $4, right? Obviously, they have to pay $7 shipping. And most of the time when I got a customer who's interested in an item, they counter offered me half the listing price, right? I felt nickel and dimed. I've come to the conclusion that used items will never earn any money for a seller. Okay, this is not Poshmark's fault, but I think browsing their clientele do not recognize high-end quality, and even if they did, they cannot even afford the price on Poshmark. Okay, so this is if you're a seller, you're trying to sell product. This is a real review from an actual seller. These are some of the problems that you might come across if you're trying to sell clothes on Poshmark. Here's another thing. If you're a buyer, they've got really bad reviews, okay? So if you're on Poshmark and you're trying to look at this. They've got 3,297 reviews on Trustpilot, which is a really good review application, okay? And they have a 1.3 star rating out of 5. That is really bad for a big company, okay? Look at these reviews. I mean, this is insane, right? Like most of their reviews, look at this. So basically, let me summarize it for you. The biggest problem that they have, if you're a buyer on the Poshmark side, so you're not trying to make money right now, you're trying to buy products from there, is that a lot of it is fake. As in, there are a lot of people on Poshmark that are fake sellers. That means they sell a product, it's fake, there's a bait and switch, and they send you a product that's really, really bad. There is 0 refunds on this platform, okay? So you can't get your money back. So the buyers get a really bad taste in their mouth because what they think they purchased wasn't actually the right thing. So there's a lot of bait and switch going on. Now, that doesn't mean that all the sellers on Poshmark are scammers, right? But unfortunately, because of the way that they structured their business, there are quite a few scammers on the platform. That means they are selling product, but it's not the real product that people actually want to buy. And if you're a buyer and you get your product, there's no way to refund. There's no way, Poshmark's not going to help you with the customer service. Your all sales are final, which is not a great thing to be if you're a buyer and you get a bad product. Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, on the selling side, it's very difficult to make money on Poshmark, okay, for all the reasons that we spoke about before. All in all, yes, you can make some sales, and you might be able to sell some good clothing if they're branded and you price them high, right? But it's expensive because Poshmark takes a very high fee of 20%, more expensive than Mercari and eBay. And it's very difficult because there's so many listings. The people on Poshmark aren't really able to spend a lot of money. So if you don't have high listings, and you just won't be able to sell that much or make that much money on Poshmark. So a very, very difficult way to make money as a side hustle, even selling secondhand clothing, even though Poshmark is a big website for doing so. Okay, so that's my feedback on Poshmark. You can check it out if you want, but I think there are easier ways to make money. Look, if you're looking for a side hustle, right, that's probably why you came to Poshmark, because you want to make some income on the side, and maybe you wanted to sell your clothes. But listen, there are a lot of ways to make money on the internet these days. Poshmark is just one of those ways, and it's obviously not a very good website to even make side income. It's a lot of work. You're going to make very little money. I think there are much easier ways to make money online, okay? I've been marketing online for over 14 years, right? So if you're interested in creating a side hustle, maybe you want to create a side income 100% on the internet, I've got a great way, and this is still my favorite way. I've been online marketing for over 14 years. This is my favorite way to get to minimum 5 to 10,000 US dollars every single month. If you would like that strategy, just click on the link below. I'll send you my favorite strategy on how to do that straight to your email if you would like to check it out. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this review of Poshmark today, and I will see you hopefully on another review video. Take care.